The clock. Hi, I'm Mattie Scariot. I'm the director of the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival, and I'm here today with Jameson DeSantis, the writer director of Just a Ghoul, and it's which is going to be playing at the film festival on April 9th at 12 o'clock at the District Theater. So, welcome, Jameson. I'm so excited to meet you in person,
Yeah, thank
or
you for
not in
having
person,
me.
but like see your face instead of just
This
emails.
version of in person that we've had to struggle and deal with and settle for the last 2 years. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for having us at the festival. We're so excited.
Oh gosh, it's an honor for us. I think that film is just so funny, and
Thank you.
I was telling I just interviewed the star of the film, JJ, and was telling her that I try really hard to explain the film to people and in a funny way, but the way I do it, it always sounds like okay, this girl was killed and she, but it's funny, and so I like I'm not the best person to explain the film, so
Yeah.
maybe you could explain the film. It's
First of all, you're not alone. I've been struggling to explain it for about 2 years now, since since I started making it. So the premise is pretty simple. It's boy meets girl, except girl is dead. They're both trying to go to a date. They both haven't been dating for a while, and unfortunately, JJ's character dies on the way to the date. And instead of just being able to move on, she's forced to finish the date. And in the course of them having to deal with each other through this last final date so she can move on, they realize they both have the same kinds of insecurities and they're both very unfinished products. And you never stop working on yourself even when you die.
I just realized I'm pretty comfortable with the claw, being there, but I think we should probably like explain to people.
Yes, okay, that's a fair question. So I am coming to you today from inside of a claw machine.
Right.
There is a pivotal scene in the short that revolves around a claw machine. And I thought it would be very apropos to come to you from the exact same claw machine as we stopped production on Just a Ghoul about 2 days before the NBA shut down for COVID. So all the things of like, oh, well, I had that claw machine. I'm going to resell that claw machine. It's just been sitting in my apartment for 2 years. So I'm making do with it the best I can, which is broadcasting from it.
So it's a real claw machine does it work?
Oh, it works. I'd actually love to challenge you to a round of claw machine if you're interested. If you want to keep
Okay.
talking to me afterward. But it's a real claw machine. I'm happy to show you around it real quick.
Oh,
That is
sure.
the top
Oh,
view of the
wow.
claw machine.
Oh,
Here's the
wow.
side view of the claw machine. And here is the actual view from the claw machine that if I were to drive it around, we could go through and
Oh
kind of
my
pick up an
goodness.
actual toy right now. Let's just try it for the hell of it and see if it's going to work. Oh,
Oh.
but that's that's the fun part, I guess.
Well, why would you ever want to get rid of it?
Yeah, I know. Now that you've shown that, I'm keeping it. That's it. It's staying.
Because you could put whatever you wanted in there. Would it pick a beer up or a can?
You know what? There's absolutely an event in which I will try that. Although picking it up and then dropping the beer bottle back on top
Yeah,
of, I think would shorten the life of the claw machine extensively.
right.
It's not to say I'm not going to do it. So hold on. I got to run to Vaughn's real quick and we're going to try this.
Oh, goodness. Well, so because you closed down right before COVID, it was that. I mean, it was probably the only blessing is that what a great thing to have to do during COVID is edit. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of us were struggling with what to do, so you had a lot to do. This film has an incredible amount of visual effects in it, and I think the reason it is as funny as it is because of the visual effects, because you really believe it, and you could see that she's a ghost. And can you talk a little bit about that? Because as a filmmaker myself and working with green screen, I know how hard those things are, and I we're trying to figure out how you did it because it's pretty spectacular. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a first-time filmmaker. This is the first time I've directed anything. So I don't have a lot of strengths yet. Like they're forming. So the one strength I really did have is I am a visual effects artist by trade. So what I do, my 9 to 5, or in this business 8 to 9:30 at night, is visual effects. So I was able to at least plan this film around one of the assets I knew I had, which was going to be my own ability to work on this after hours and take my visual effects knowledge to it. So we didn't really have enough time to do it the way a professional would have done it, which is set up green screens. I know there's one behind me, but this one wasn't on set. So we had such limited time with all of our locations, an asset that I value very heavily now. We had such limited time with our locations and such limited shooting time that really a lot of the stuff we did had to be performed after the fact. So we shoot JJ in front of the location live, and honestly, that's a better way to do it so we can capture the lighting of the scene. And then we shoot a plate of that where she's not there. And then basically after the fact, I basically lay those on top of each other. And through computer learning, I can get some sort of a base form for her, which is basically a black on white alpha channel of JJ's body, at least the computer telling me what's different between one shot and the next. So
Okay.
to do that, the camera has to be locked off completely, which gives us very limited flexibility in our shot selection, which is something we have to work around later. So a lot of stuff like camera movement was added after the fact, after the composite was done. And basically anything that's not captured through machine learning then has to be gone through and rotoed by hand, which is
Oh
drawn
my gosh.
basically. So stuff for like hair, movement, the stuff behind her still comes through. All of that kind of has to be done hand by hand, which is why this movie didn't come out a year ago. It's coming out now because it's a 29-minute short, and that is a lot of time for the main character to be semi-transparent and make
Yeah.
that effect look real.
Wow. Well, it's really impressive. I mean, like I said, I've worked with green screen and but that I mean, and just rotoscoping and all that stuff is just time consuming. Yeah. That's
Highly,
amazing.
highly. But it was kind of nice because JJ gave me so many great performances that
Yeah.
like the editing process wasn't really that difficult. The visual effects took forever, but she's such a pro, and I know she was talking about being cold and everything earlier. You can't tell that on screen.
No.
I didn't have to stabilize her body from shivering, or anything like that. She really gave me so much great material to work with that it just each shot you finish just became much more rewarding because it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly how I wanted it to look, and that's exactly how I wanted to sound, and she just did such a great job bringing not just one but two characters to life
Yeah,
to in
that's
depth.
true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Um, yeah, yeah, she did say she was like freezing cold and I didn't even notice that it was cold outside. It didn't look like it was cold outside or anything. So she was very what a pro.
There are a lot of shots where the background is rebuilt because the trees are whipping around.
Oh,
So, outside of just what you see in terms of the visual effects of the ghost effect, there's a lot that went into making that scene look like it wasn't the one night in LA that has high winds. Doesn't
but
rain
that's the
here
thing that
except for when you're
happens is
shooting.
whatever can go wrong goes wrong, right? And
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
can plan for everything and you think you have all your ducks in a row and then Mother Nature comes in.
Yeah. I think that's Ghosty's law or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yes. So can you talk a little bit about your career, how you got into filmmaking and yeah, just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, it just felt very early like it was something I wanted to do. Did very dumb mini DV stuff, at home on my parents' camcorder. I went to school to learn about it, and I sort of majored in cinematography. And when I moved up to LA to start my career, it was 2008. There was a huge recession, and nobody was looking to hire a first AC or a second AC or a 28th AC for anything. Crews were shrinking, and my car was broken, and I had no money. So the first job I could find was at a receptionist at a visual effects office that had just formed, and I was their first employee. And so I had a little bit of editing experience from college, and they're like, all right, I guess you can start fielding out some of these shots and doing some prep work for us. And I did that for a few years and tape operated and kind of just stuck with a company and started coming in early and leaving late and doing what took some artists 5 minutes would take me 5 hours until I got it down to 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. And then I kind of had this other self career of doing visual effects. And it's been awesome. Like, I've really loved it. And I've worked on so many other projects that aren't my own for a long time. I'm getting kind of back to what I really wanted to do, which was make my own films.
Right.
And I'm really happy I have this asset now, and I'm really forward on like doing that same process with directing now,
Yeah.
getting better at it, working at it, and enjoying the hell out of it.
Where do you work? What's the visual effects company?
So I am one of the many souls that bounce around, especially in this land. My company destaffed around COVID, so now I'm an independent contractor now. So I
Oh,
work
okay.
with a lot of different companies,
Oh, okay.
depending on the week and where I'm booked.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I had a friend who had a visual effects company, Synaptic, and
Yeah, I've heard of them.
they had to go out of business because right during the recession part too, they sort
Yeah.
of lost
So
momentum and
I know, funnily enough, or funny enough, what was made Justical very difficult to work on is the machine I work on. I can't have it home. It's too big. It takes up too much
oh,
power. So I was working out of I was working out of a visual effects company for a while. During COVID, they moved, so I had to be kicked out. And then I moved to another visual effects company. Was happy enough to host me, and then they closed down permanently. So
oh
this
wow.
project was chased from shop to shop to shop. Unfortunately, the effects of COVID kind of hurt everybody, and
Oh yeah.
a lot of really good shops, a lot of places I really liked working at closed.
Oh no. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, that there's some bad things that happened in COVID and some good things that came out of it, you
There are a
know.
couple, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm. This film feels like one of them for me and for JJ and for everybody involved too. Everybody was
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
great.
Well, it's a fantastic film and what do you think you might be working on next?
I'm gonna work on my vows. Right, on to be honest, I'm getting married in 3 weeks, so I've not been able to focus on the next project. I have something written. I'm really hoping to work with JJ on it. We haven't talked about it yet, but that's mostly because I'm so busy calling places on who sells plate chargers for 150 people, and how do we get a platform for a band, and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. So who are you? Are you and JJ getting married?
no, no.
Oh, okay.
She's coming to the wedding though, and as long as she doesn't yell, she objects. Everything's fine. Now, my fiance is actually in the film. She has a brief cameo on the duck boats. There's very
Okay.
very short. There's a scene in which the two main characters are arguing with each other, a ghost on a swan boat in the Van Nuys Lake, and my fiance and another guy paddle by and see the ghost.
Oh, that's
But she's a lovely woman. Kristen, I love you a lot. She's a therapist, which has been an interesting person to be engaged to.
so basically, right after the festival, you're getting married?
Yeah, in less than 2 weeks on the 22nd.
Wow, wow. Wow, wow. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
You will be the last public event I go to.
Well, I was like, wow, it's pretty cool that you're coming here when you're a few weeks from your wedding. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. We'll have to have a toast to you both.
Yes, I'm actually going to treat the whole festival as a bachelor party. So, yes,
Wonderful.
everyone, please get ready to get wild.
Well, they say you don't go to a festival to sleep, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking
As am
forward
I.
to
I
it.
really am. I
Yeah,
love that festivals are back, and we're just taking the precautions and we're doing it, and we're so far
yeah,
into this thing now that we're learning to work with it as long as we're
yeah,
safe, and yeah, I can't wait.
yeah. We're just trying to, yeah, just like just follow all the CDC guidelines. That's what we'll do, and yeah, be safe and yeah, keep this bug away from us.
Same here.
Um, well, it's wonderful to talk to you, and what a fantastic film.
Thank you.
And like I said, it's playing Saturday. at 12 o'clock at the District Theater, which I'm really excited about. Yeah.
And then 5 o'clock again, right at
Yes.
Hollister.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yep.
right. Right.
Yep.
There's very few films that we were able to play twice, but yours was one of them. It's just so great.
I love it. We're so honored. We really are. This is a huge honor for us, and we can't wait to show it to everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great. Oh, it's great. Well, thank you, Jameson, so much for joining me today.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I look forward to seeing you in about a week.
Hell yeah. All right. Thank you very much.